We are ready to assemble the mainspring barrel now. The first thing we need to do is lubricate the inside of the barrel. We're going to use Mobius 9504, which is a grease, to lubricate the inside, and I'm going to use the oiler to put 3 dots of grease on the bottom of the barrel. I've taken some of the grease out of the bottle and put it into one of these little oiler cups. These let us take a small amount of it and keep from contaminating the big bottle when we're taking little bits of it out to oil the movement. Now I'm going to use the oiler, which is a little wire with a flattened tip in a plastic handle, to apply the grease to the inside of the barrel. As I mentioned earlier, we're going to put 3 dots in a triangular pattern on the bottom of the barrel. Add a little bit more to that one. We will do the same thing to the inside of the lid of the barrel too before we assemble the barrel. The purpose of these dots of grease is to lubricate the spring as it moves inside the barrel, as it unwinds and winds. And that's why there's some on the top and the bottom. Over time, it'll kind of work its way onto the surface of the spring. The new mainspring comes already wound up and fitted into a plastic washer that keeps it from unwinding. This is really convenient because it makes it possible for us to install it into the barrel without a mainspring winder. When you install it, you need to make sure that you don't put it in upside down. It needs to wind in the correct direction, so you need to keep notes of how the original mainspring was installed when you took the watch apart. You simply lay this mainspring in the washer on top of the barrel so that it's lined up with the barrel, and then push downward on the spring using your fingers to push it down into the barrel. I finally got the spring in. I ended up having to use the edge of a screwdriver to finish pushing it in, because the middle of it pushed in further than the outer parts of the spring, and you need it all pushed all the way flat into the bottom of the arbor. And so I did that off camera. Next, we need to insert the barrel arbor, and we're going to do this using a tool called a pen vise. A pen vise is a tool used for holding very small objects so that you can do work with them. Things that are too small to hold in your hand and that need to be held more securely than you can hold with tweezers. And what we're going to do with this is we need to take the barrel arbor. The barrel arbor has 2 ends. One end has screw threads in it for the screw that holds the barrel in place, and the other does not have threads. The threaded side goes down, and so we're going to put the non-threaded end in the pen vise. I've got the barrel arbor in the pen vise now, and you have to make sure when you do this that the arbor is sitting level in the pen vise and is in the direct center of it. You can see the screw threads are the part that's sticking out. That's going to go down into the barrel arbor. And what we're going to do is we're going to stick that into the middle of the coils, and then kind of push the coils toward the center and push the arbor down into the hole in the bottom of the barrel. All right, now it's in. I had a real heck of a time getting that in there because the inner coil was just a little bit smaller than the arbor, and I had to kind of finagle it in there to get the arbor to go inside the coils, because I needed to make sure that the bottom of the arbor, I don't know if you can see if I can get a good view of this here, the bottom of the arbor had to stick out to the bottom of the barrel, and it has to be straight up and down too, not crooked. And I finally got it in there. So now we need to put the top back on it, and we will do that. So here's our lid. This is the inside of the lid. There's our 3 dots of grease. Now we'll carefully pick this up with the tweezers so I don't spread grease all over the place, and lay it on top of the barrel with the grease dots going down. And push it down in place, and we're going to push this down by hand until it snaps in. And there it is. It just heard it snap. Make sure it's even and everything. Let's look at it from the side, make sure it looks still even. It does, it looks good. So we're ready to put this back into the watch movement.